Hi, my name is Susan. This time, this video's theme is fire. This is like a kind of update with me and my kingdom spouse. The word that came to mind this week, we are a living sacrifice. Take up your cross and follow me, biblical reading. When Christ died that day, we as a church went down with him and was raised. And we as his anointed are a living sacrifice. Sacrificial lambs, basically. Me and my kingdom husband have been going through many trials, going down in the fire whilst being strengthened and being raised up at the same time. The crushing of the anointed. Going through a wilderness, trying to find solutions to our distress, having demonic energies attacking us, blocking our minds, blocking our feelings towards each other, unable to feel each other like what we used to. Feelings of being crushed around our waists, heavy buzzing weight on our heads, and breathing constrictions, which is what I'm going through now. The feeling of our insides being on fire to the point where I was toileting hot urine, constantly drinking cold water because of the thirst. On the outside I look fine, but on the inside it's a daily struggle to cope with these spiritual attacks. Having to hang my head down lower to relieve the head pressure. Otherwise I would be walking around pretty disorientated. I can't do the things I used to anymore, like play instruments or rest, because of all the rapid head movements and stuff like that is always accounted for and is punished by the network and the helm. So I literally have to endure a lot of pain each day, but I try to get beast mode and press down and just endure it. We have had to endure this for weeks now, months, with the attacks becoming more constant and regular, till now it's become an all-day affair of endurance. We are constantly praying to God to relieve the attacks, but they have got more intense as they've gone along week by week. Mainly for the fact that I hold my head up, I won't bow to demons. Because this energy is coming from the helm, the place under God's feet. But we both have got stronger in the fire, and we both trust God that it's obviously for a bigger purpose. We have come to the conclusion that we may be dying in our own flesh. This is about trusting the journey, even though we are writhing each day trying to find a corner of comfort, but there isn't much comfort. We just have to plod on. Luckily, God lets us get to breaking point and then holds us. And we are made stronger through his endurance. Endurance. So we have to keep trusting and walking one step at a time. It's obviously been used for our own good and for the benefit of others too. Because I know that there are many people trapped in this spiritual hostage situation. We have realised that the only way to cope is to forward face into the real world and buckle down harder in all our purposes, and to endure and look to the cross for strength. We see this as like Peter's thorn in the Bible, in his side. During this trial we have both had to strip bare some of our weaknesses in our characters. My fear, keeping calm whilst having all these physical symptoms that are happening to my body and mind. External spirits in my environment. My husband feels everything that I do. And we are spiritually as one. Now we don't know whether that's because we've both been caught spiritually in this helm place. Or whether, it's God's will that we are physically as one. We don't know that yet because it hasn't come to its ending conclusion. We're still stuck in it. During this journey, me and my kingdom husband have had to deal with many issues whilst working around the trials together, as I hear his thoughts and guidance. We are both dealing with the bondage of our flesh, my fears having to keep calm under pressure and mental pressure, his sexual addictions, hurting himself by strangulation under pressure, he has had to consider that I feel what he does, and the vice versa. Being held mentally feels like being in a Nazi concentration camp with your head down, looking at the floor all day, every move accounted for, basically. Otherwise you will get a dose of physical pain. This is a purification network that deems fit to rule its punishment, which can be anything from buying a chocolate bar, believing, thinking or saying the wrong thing, or living the wrong thing, but it's just a control network. Everything you ever do is wrong anyway. All I've known is punishment constantly. Didn't matter what I did, unless I had my head down. That was the only bit of relief I got. I've had to learn to silence my mind and my own head chatter through fear. As if I lift my head up, the voices will start telling me what to do. That's if I have head chatter. I've literally, there's nothing in there now. I just have to forward face into reality. It hates anything that is deemed impure, such as sexual thoughts, being with the wrong person, things you eat, materialism. My kingdom husband tells me that this is a Jewish-based network, a purification network using the old law to bind people. Well, I'm not sure about that. That hasn't been confirmed yet, but that's what he says. And uses the helm to punish people, demonic, spiritual entities, and to just cause physical pain. The reason why we think we have ended up in this network is because I think God is bridging the gap between Jews and Gentiles. This is just, my opinion really. And our marriage union is being used for this, as my kingdom husband has a heritage of a Jewish line in his family. And we are to have a child that is to bring laughter to the nations. And we are under grace, under Christ, rather than the law. That's just my hunch and my opinion. We are definitely not welcome in this network because of our rebellious natures, and we want to be free under Christ, and that's why we're getting punished. Because I was so desperate to get out of this mind control network, I was told by the voices in the network I would have to purify myself and get rid of my belongings, run around the block endlessly, starve myself of food and water, which I didn't get for a few weeks, and I lost 2 stone because of the total fear. I think this was probably about a year back, maybe. Luckily I came to my senses and started drinking fluids. I ate my own poop at one point because they was making me run up and down the hall. Otherwise they'd keep me awake all night with the voices. Luckily I got over that, and I came to my senses and started eating and drinking again. And I'd have to do things like look at the microphone all night. It's like, why is it getting out? I don't even know why I actually did it. I must have been total fear. Endless mind games because you want to be free. This is a fear-based network and controls you by your own fears and learns your emotional reactions to the pain and punishment it sends, and also by the thoughts that are triggered by trauma caused by those triggers. So at the moment, I've got a tightness around my chest. Feel like I've got a snake around my middle. Got like a big anxiety ball in my stomach, and I'm finding it a bit tough to breathe because of the fears that it's put on me over the last year. And from what I understand, this is what controls the higher echelons of society and keeps them in their place. This is all what I've gathered spiritually from my teacher, my husband, who has been trapped in this realm for 15 years. He escaped, but he was pulled back in with me, so basically he just feels what I feel, the punishment I get, he gets. So I'm still struggling to get out, but from what I've gathered, this is an electromagnetic attacks. It actually feels like being exterminated by 5G. When you're being punished, the pressure is so intense. So This needs to be confirmed in the natural, but this is all what I've experienced in the spiritual realm with him for the last year or two. And that's about it. I'll do another update in the next video. Thank you.